Benvenuto. Welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. Today we're going to make shepherd's pie. This is a recipe that was passed down to me from my great aunt Ginger, as taught to her by my great grandmother Agnes from County Cork, Ireland. There's been a few little variations of it over the years, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we're cooking. So anyway, what we're going to need for today's recipe is 1.5 pounds of ground lamb. Now, traditionally, a shepherd's pie is made with ground lamb. A cottage pie, which is what most of us in America call shepherd's pie, is made with ground beef. Truth be told, I almost always make this with ground beef because I prefer ground beef over ground lamb, but since this was my great aunt's recipe, we're going to do it exactly as she did. Plus, Wade loves lamb, so we're going to make it with lamb today. All right, so anyway, you need 1.5 pounds of nice fresh ground lamb. This is for the filling. Then we're going to need a teaspoon of, half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of dried rosemary and dried, I forgot what the other herb is called. Sorry about that. Oh God, a brain fart. I can't think of what it is. Thyme, rosemary and thyme. So it's a good half rounded teaspoon of rosemary and thyme dried. A little bit more, a little bit less, depending upon how you like it. We're going to need about 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. We're going to need 2 large carrots. We're going to need a medium-sized onion, 3 cloves of garlic. Need some beef stock, Worcestershire, salt and pepper, and we're going to need some flour to thicken everything up, and we need some nice olive oil to get everything started frying. All right, we're going to start with the mashed potatoes first. So we're going to get that on the stove. I've already cut up 3 of them. So you need 4, good size russet potatoes. That's probably 2-3 pounds maybe. So you just want to rough chop those and get them in your pan. Again, these are going to be mashed, so they don't have to be pretty. You want a pan of water with enough water in it to cover the potatoes. And we're going to give it a little bit of salt, about half a teaspoon, and we're going to get that on the stove, and I'll be right back. All right, I just wanted to get the pot of the potatoes on the stove, so it's cooking while we're doing the rest of it. You want to put, start with cold water, enough water to cover your potatoes. Put it on your burner on high, and when that comes to boil, when it comes to a vigorous boil, and then your potatoes should be nice and tender, anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes. Of course, check on them once close to that time to make sure they're where you want them. The carrots, again, we're just going to kind of dice the carrots a little. This is how I find it easiest to do. I kind of cut it in quarters like that, and then just give them a chop. So, a nice dice. That's pretty good. We're going to get those sauteing and get them nice and tender. Careful not to chop your fingers off. All right, one more. And then in our bowl with the rest of them. All right. One of the, as I said in the beginning, we're going to talk about the little bit of the differences between my great aunt Ginger's recipe and probably my great grandmother's. I'm sure my great grandmother did not use frozen peas and carrots. But Ginger did, so that's the way we're going to do it. And also you need three cloves of garlic. And we've got our medium-sized onion. And we're just going to give that a little bit of a chop. These are going to get sauteed. You might want them a little bit smaller than a rough chop, just so they're bite-sized. And then we got our garlic. A little bit of paper left on that one. Get my other knife so I can mince that up. And you do want to kind of get this into small pieces because we're not going to process this anymore, and somebody might not like a big piece of garlic. Not pretty the way I'm doing it, but as long as it gets the job done, right? Okay, that's pretty good. All right, now let's go on over to the stove and get cooking. Alrighty, I've got my non-stick pan here on medium heat. You can do this all in one pan, you know, in a big skillet, any oven-safe skillet. I happen to think it looks a little prettier, the end product, in a baking dish, but I've done it both ways. Anyway, so we're going to put probably a couple tablespoons of olive oil in our heated pan, and we want to get our onions in there. I'm sorry, carrots in there, thank you. Our carrots in here, and we want to get those sauteing. This is going to take a good 5 minutes to get these a little bit sauteed, a little tender, and maybe a little bit of nice brown crust on them. So you don't have to stand here and watch me do this. We'll be back when they're just about done. Okay, it's just been about 5 minutes. We've been sauteing, and you can see the carrots have just got a little bit of brown on them, starting to soften up a little bit. See, our potatoes are boiling away there. Those should be done in about 10 minutes. And then at this point, we're going to add our carrots and get our onions. I can't tell my carrots and the onions apart. Good thing Wade's here. Get our onions in and start to get them sauteing. And that's probably going to take another 3 or 4 minutes as well, too. I might add a little bit more olive oil. Oop, all gone. All right, see you back in a few minutes. Alrighty, so you can see our carrots have just started to get a little soft, a little translucent. They're getting a little bit of color on them. Alright, so at this point, we want to add our garlic in. And give that a little stir. Probably just about 30 seconds. You're going to see the smell of the garlic is going to come right up, and you'll know it's ready. Hey, there it is. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of push the veggies off to the side a little bit. And we're going to put our lamb in. Now, if you want, you could remove your veggies or the carrots and onions and start to saute the meat. Truthfully, I think it adds, more layers of flavor through the dish if you do it them together. And you want the carrots soft anyway, but so we'll start to get our meat browning. And we're going to sprinkle our salt and pepper on our meat. And I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit, probably to about medium-high. We'll let that start to cook a bit before we mix everything together. And of course, you want to get the meat browned. And then you can start to bring your vegetables over a little bit, get everything playing together. And this is going to take a good 5 or 10 minutes to get that to the point where you want it. We'll see you when it's ready. Okay, it's been 15 minutes, and you can see our potatoes are pork tender. All right, so I'm going to drain them, and then we'll finish up the chopping. We're basically going to make mashed potatoes, and we'll do that together in a little bit. All right, you'll see our meat is all nicely browned. Now you're going to see there's some fat in the bottom of the pan. We're going to make a gravy, so you actually need that little bit of fat that's in the pan because we're going to make gravy for the filling. So, but at this point, we're going to add our rosemary and thyme. Incorporate it into everything. Okay, we're going to add our tomato paste. Oh yeah, you may have noticed I've changed to a different pot. No, it's not a different day. I love that frying pan, but it was just too small because we got to get another cup and a half of liquid in here to make our gravy. So I've switched to a larger pan. Thank you. All right, so I just want to get that mixed in with everything. Oh, that sounds fun. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. I'm going to add my Worcestershire sauce. That's 1/2 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, I believe, or a tablespoon and a half. Anyway, it's in the recipe. I actually use 2. I like a little bit more. All right, so we're going to get that all mixed in well together. Doesn't it smell good? Mm-hmm. And then we're going to sprinkle our flour in. So again, this is going to start to make our roux for our gravy. And we do want to get that the flour taste cooked off a little bit. So mix it all together. I turned my heat up a little early. I'd keep it on medium till that's 2 or 3 minutes. Let it cook. Okay, then we want to add our 1.5 cups of stock. And now we're going to turn it up a little bit. And you want to deglaze the bottom of the pan. You can see it's already starting to thicken. Look at that. And as I said, you just want to let it thicken. We're already thick at this point, or thickened. So I'm going to turn my heat back down, and I'm going to add the peas and carrots in. So our filling is basically done. This is going to go into the oven as well, so just get the carrots and peas mixed in good and get them defrosted. Okay, and that's just about how you want it to look. All right, we're going to turn this off for now. Our filling's done. And we're going to go over to the counter and make our mashed potatoes. See you there in a minute. All right, so this is basically just mashed potatoes. Of course, ideally, if you're going to make shepherd's pie or cottage pie, you're using leftover mashed potatoes. But I don't know about you guys, but we never have leftover mashed potatoes. Truth be told, I often use instant mashed potatoes when I make this. But my great aunt Ginger would never do that, so I'm not going to. But anyway, we're gonna to our 4 russet potatoes. We got half a cup of milk and roughly about 3 tablespoons of butter. Now, if I was going to just use this as mashed potatoes, I would have used warm milk. But this is gonna be the topping of the potatoes anyway. So again, that's all there is to it. You want to mash it. I'm going to sprinkle a little fresh cracked black pepper in there. Salt and pepper is to taste, of course. If you don't like pepper in your mashed potatoes, don't put it in there. Alright, I think that's good. I'm going to give it a quick taste. I didn't put any salt in because I did have salted water, but I don't think it needs any more salt. Perfect. Alright, we'll be ready to assemble things, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, now it's perfectly acceptable if you want to just top your filling with your mashed potatoes in your pan, as long as this is an oven-safe pan, because we're gonna bake this in the oven to get the top of the potatoes nice and brown. I've got the oven set at 375, and it's gonna cook for about 45 minutes. The reason I put it in this smaller baking dish is because you get a thicker cover of the potatoes. It's completely up to you. Oh, good point. Yes, I did butter the pan a little bit just so it doesn't stick. This pan is very heavy. All right, you should have did that the other way. Anyway, you got your beautiful filling with that nice creamy gravy. I'm going to flatten it out. Now, Wade just said something to me. He said, "Oh, I thought you did it in 3 layers." Never did I do it in 3 layers. He must be confused, or confusing me with somebody else. Anyway, that's not the way. It's possible I've done it, the vegetables in 1 layer in the past, but that's not the way my great aunt Ginger did it. So, all right, so then I'm going to take our potatoes Give them a dollop around here and there. And then just kind of gently, try not to bring your sauce all up on your topping, and spread it out. Also, it's a good idea, if you don't want to get the bottom of your oven a mess, put this on a cookie sheet, because chances are it will bubble over. And I do like to leave that little bit of the on the edge, especially in a couple different places, because it does bubble up and you get that nice gravy mixed in with the potatoes. There you go. All right, we're gonna get in the oven. As I said, it's 375, and it's gonna take about 45 minutes to get the potatoes browned. Rack is in the middle. And I'm going to check on it probably about in a half hour, make sure it's not getting too brown, but it should take about 45 minutes. So Google, set the oven timer for 45 minutes. Google's not listening to me. Okay, Google, set an oven timer for 45 minutes.
45 minutes, and we're starting now.
And we'll be back when it's ready for dinner. Okay, it's done. As you can see, it is a good idea to put the tray on the bottom. Look at that. Exactly 45 minutes later. You got nice brown all over and those nice little crusty edges. Now this is going to have to cool down for at least a good 10 minutes before you dig in. So we're going to eat in about 10 minutes. We'll see you in a little bit. I know I kind of babbled a lot throughout this recipe and went off on a tangent, but I assure you, if you'd like to find this recipe, the full recipe printed, and also this video is at cherryhillhomecooking.com. Let's eat. Tell me what you think. I haven't made it for you with lamb.
Wow, that's good. That's delicious.
It really does. The lamb makes a huge difference. I mean, it just tastes authentic. It tastes like I remember when I was a kid.
Really taste the vegetables too.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely delicious.
Yeah. Nice job.
Thank you.
All that will be gone
Oh God, yeah.
by the end of the week.
Yep. Have that for lunch, dinner tomorrow, and he'll have it for lunch for several days. Take it to work. Nice piece of crusty bread to soak up that nice gravy. All right, well, we're going to enjoy our dinner. Thank you so much for taking a little time and watching this with us. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed making it. And I hope you go ahead and make it yourselves. Ciao.
Bye. Mashed potatoes good too.